Hi friends and welcome to episode number 19. The topic for today is vision. Now what is the definition of vision? According to me, vision is your dream projected on the canvas of faith. If it sounds too complicated, don't worry, I'll simplify it. So here's the story. This story comes from the life of the great Shivaji Maharaj. So you know Shivaji Maharaj's coronation took place at the great fort Raigad. On the day of his coronation, it was a huge ceremony and he had invited almost all the surrounding kings. There were some foreign traders, officers invited, even two English officers were invited for the ceremony. Now, as soon as they arrived at the gate of Raigad, they could see there were two huge elephants standing at the entrance gate and they were decked with jewelry, ornaments, and everything was absolutely lavish. These two officers were intrigued and they kept on looking at the elephants and they were discussing something among themselves. For a long time they were discussing and they just refused to move from there. But after some time they were told that they need to go inside because the coronation ceremony was about to begin. So they went inside. The whole coronation ceremony took place and after some time each person was allowed to meet the king. When these two English officers went in front of Shivaji Maharaj, they congratulated him, they gave him gifts, and after all that, they said, "We have one question for you." And Shivaji Maharaj looked at them and said, "Yeah, go ahead and ask." They said, "We have been wondering, this fort Raigad is at such a huge height. We are wondering, how did you get those two elephants outside? How did they come up on the fort? How did you get them up? We have been really thinking hard to understand what method you have used to get these two elephants at such a great height." Now, mind you, in those days, there were no cranes, there were no lifts. So it was impossible, no airplanes, to get those two huge elephants and airlift them at such a height. Looking at them, Shivaji Maharaj smiled and said, well, they were brought on the fort 20 years ago when they were baby elephants. I have been nursing this dream of Swaraj for the last 20 years and I have been preparing it for the last 20 years. They were brought up on the fort and they have grown on this fort and they were being grown for this day. So my dear friends, he had been seeing the dream of Swaraj 20 years and he was preparing for it. Here's the second story. There was this small little kid and he used to go to school, and in school his teacher gave him an essay, write an essay on my house. And he wrote an essay and he gave it to the teacher. Now the teacher knew that this boy was very poor. He had no father, he had only his mother supporting him and they lived in a small room. They hardly had any furniture in it. But this guy in his essay had written that my house is a big lavish house, it's a farmhouse and it has a garden, it has a swimming pool, it has animals, it has vegetables grown on it, and on and on and on. On reading it, the teacher called him and summoned him and said, "Look here, I cannot encourage you to lie. Why do you have to lie? Why are you so ashamed of your party? Why don't you write what is there? You write you live in a small house and you don't have too much of furniture. It has got one door, two windows. It's okay. But be truthful. If you write this, I won't be able to pass you." The boy looked at the teacher and said, "No ma'am, I would like to retain my essay." She said, "In that case, I'll have to fail you." He said, "That's your wish ma'am." And she tore his essay and threw it in the dustbin and said, "You have failed." Well, years passed by. The teacher was an extremely good teacher. So after several years, the teacher went on getting promotion, and one fine day she became the principal of the school. And after several years, the day of her retirement had dawned. And she, being such a popular teacher, the whole staff had organized a big farewell party for her. And one of her students called up to say that, "Why don't you organize a picnic at my farmhouse?" So all of them went to that venue. They had a wonderful day. In the evening, when the teacher was supposed to give her last speech, vote of thanks or a farewell speech or whatever you call it, she went on stage and she said, "I don't know how to thank all of you, and particularly I want to thank that student who has invited us to this farmhouse. It's such a serene place. I never felt so good in my life, and I'm going to nourish and nurture these and cherish these memories of the last day of my school throughout my life. And I would like to meet this student of mine who owns this farmhouse." So after the whole ceremony was over, she went in and he said, "Ma'am," that the owner of the farmhouse stood up and said, "Ma'am, I am so happy that you like the whole place. Do you remember me?" And she said, I'm so sorry, but there have been several years and so many students, I actually don't remember you. And then he reminded her, ma'am, do you remember I was in such and such year, I was in your class. It was standard 7 and you had given a homework of writing an essay on my house. And I had written an essay and I was very poor, I didn't have my dad. And she said, oh, are you John? She said, yes ma'am, I am John. And yes, I had told you not to lie and you should be truthful. Yeah, you still remember that, that small little incident. Yes, and I wish you have learned something from that. He said, ma'am, I wanted to tell you I was not lying. This is the farmhouse I was talking about in that essay. And that is the swimming pool I was talking about. That's the garden I was talking about. This farmhouse was my dream and today you can see it. The only thing is at that time only I could see it, you could not see it. Today I have invited you here so that you could also see it, to tell you that I was not lying. So my dear friends, that is vision. Vision is your dream projected on the canvas of faith. So have dreams, believe in them and work for them. They are bound to come true. That's it for today. Have fun in life, learn more, contribute more and celebrate your uniqueness. If you like the video, please click on the like button. If you have not liked the Pathik page, please like the Pathik page. If you are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. And if you have any comments, like all the past videos, please share your comments. They are very, very valuable and they are very, very important for us. We cherish all your feedback. Thank you so much and see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.